We're starting with this motor for a reason. This is 47FL 10294. We have it on video, me discovering it from the third owner who got it in '61, Mr. Bill. And this is all original patina, just cleaned up, except of course we had to repaint the cylinders. Matching belly numbers and all that. Motors come out beautiful. Now, before any of you start going, he doesn't know anything about original paint, those must be all repop, they're all fakes. Well, come on over here and look at this. This is the top. And this is a new old stock Springer in the wrappings with the tag in the military box. And if that ain't original paint, pal, original paint don't exist. So maybe, just maybe, I know what original paint is. And maybe I can tell it. You think? Because if that ain't real, original paint doesn't exist. In fact, life itself doesn't exist. The whole thing's a fucking dream. Here it is right here. U.S. Navy Service. Joliet, Illinois. This is a military, Navy, big twin Springer that's black. In the matching tag, with the matching box, with matching part number, and Cosmoline. That was the top for it. Here's the tag, here's the part number right here. Alright, that's as original paint as it gets. Original paint can be absolutely brand new condition. Used bikes can be in brand new condition. I've seen lots of them. I can name right now around the world at least 10 47 knuckleheads as nice or nicer than my black and blue one. 10. That's what I know of. So how many are out there? They only made 11,900 that we know of 47 knuckleheads. And here's the reality. In my little invoices, we got 246 invoices with matching motor numbers 3 months apart, different color bikes. So that was not a mistake. Most states at the time in the 40s and 50s didn't have titles. That was not a mistake. How many did they really make? Was it 40,000 or was it 80,000? We don't know. But that was not a mistake, having the same numbers on two different motors. That was not a mistake. How many did they really do? We don't know. Most of the bikes were scrapped for salvage. They were scrapped during the war. They were chopped. They were destroyed. And then, as I just mentioned in the other video, they went through the AMCA, correct everything to AMCA. It has to be like in the catalog phase. Just on Instagram the other day, no names, I saw somebody going, yeah, this is what the original paint tank looked like on my 39, which had a nice little stripe across like this. Like an idiot destroyed an original paint tank for Fox patina. That's what people know nowadays. So, he'll probably hear about it. He knows who he is. I'm not going to mention his name, but everybody knows him. So, we have a little roll of knuckleheads here. Unfortunately, I had to get rid of Mud Dauber. Special order ivory with factory custom striping. This is factory custom striping. We have invoices. Stripe it like this, stripe it like that. Do it like this, do it like that. We have another factory custom stripe here on the 57 FLH. This was a normal thing. A lot of stuff was ordered. No part number. No part number. Where's the part number for the chrome? There was none. I want it chrome. I want it nickel. I want it black. It was just written in special instructions. Put it in the cablegram. Do it this way, that way. And that's what they did. That's the reality. These are hand-built machines. Every one of these bikes were hand-built machines. Think of it this way. You go into the forest. You got a forest of 10,000 conifer trees. 10,000. 10,000 conifer trees. You know what? Every one of them is different. How many tens of thousands of bikes did Harley Davidson make that were hand-built by guys who are humans that did similar but different stuff, and a lot of the guys had authorization to try this and try that and do their own stuff. So most of what happened is not known. So, factory custom paint. Factory custom paint. This is standard catalog paint. Standard catalog paint. This is a factory custom paint. This is a factory custom paint. This is a factory custom paint. This is a, as far as I can determine, an original paint bike with most likely when the dealer got it, he did the striping on the sides. If I don't pull a chip off and find out when it came out of the gun, I'll never be able to solve that riddle. But the invoice says no more factory custom in 46 and 47. But I assure you, if a dealer had enough pull and the factory liked him, he got what he wanted. Just like today. You got the pull, they bend over backwards for you. And back then it was a good old boy network. Now I'm making this little video because I posted some of the bikes recently. And the original fender tips, guess what guys, they're not brass. The brass ones were sold by Gary Bangs. Where he got them from, I don't know. But he did a buyout, because I know he didn't have them made, from somebody who had them made at one point in time. The brass ones are not original Harley. This is original Harley. The whole bike is stupid clean. This is an original Harley. If you look closely, you can see the feathering in the old chrome here. It's been on here for decades. Been on here for decades. You know, like pretty much since new. According to Mr. Bill, who I got the bike from, he says, we didn't do a thing to it. That's just the way we got it. You know, the dealers play dress up all the time. Extra money. Just like they do today. But I'm thinking, what's it doing with Chicago Motorcycle Supply spotlight bars? And then get the invoice. Boom, boom, boom. Dozens of them. No spotlight bars. Out of stock. Oh, by the way, missing your primary chain. You get to look at your bike. Don't know what to tell you, but it don't run. War supply shortages. That was the reality of it. So it came with an aftermarket muffler from the factory. Here's the muffler over here. Had a fishtail on it, Mr. Bill says. If you look at the end, you can tell it's been busted off. Something was here. So he was correct. So let's go round and round. Each one of these are very similar. Here's the tip on the rear. And we're going to go round at the other ones. We've got a couple. We don't have a shortage of original paint knuckleheads around here. Here's the blue. Right here. Now I'm making this because two guys have said that these are repop, and guess what? They're not. But people always say that so they can sell the repop to you as real. Because they don't know, or they don't want to know, or they want to look the other way. Who knows? But these are real. This bike here, the man got it about 22 years ago from the original owner, the guy who got it new. He got it just like you see it. All he did was put these handlebars. So if these are repop, Harley Davidson used repop. Because this is real. This is as real as it gets. Let's go over to the 40 knucklehead here. We're going to look at this fender tip. That's that fender tip there. Let's look at the rear fender tip here. Now this is a bike, I've got photographic history all the way into the 40s with the original title. I've got as complete a history as you can possibly get. Chris Haynes in all his wisdom called it a repaint, which I got proof it ain't. Photographic proof it ain't. He says, oh, they didn't chrome the muffler, it must be a reproduction. Yet I got proof right there in the enthusiasts and the invoices and everything else that they made all that stuff chrome. Just order it out, not a big deal. But everybody wants to be an expert. So here's the 46 with the fender tips here. Now, you can pause this, save it for those of you who have program, and enlarge it. Guess what? Every one of these fender tips is going to be a little bit different. And you know why it's a little bit different? When you stamp something, it's called a tooling. And you have a tooling, and it comes down and stamps it like that in a big press. Here's the rear. Now what happens is the very first one is very clear and delineated. And every stamping, every time you have a stamp process, every stamp, bam, 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 every time it does that, each one is unique. Each one is a little bit different because the stamp is worn. And it goes through a process, and at the end of the process, when they figure the stamp is worn, the end product doesn't look anything like the original. Doesn't, because the stamp is worn out. And everything is less and less and less and less detail until they toss the stamp and go get another one. And then the guy makes the stamp himself by hand as a general idea off of what the first one was. And how many stamps did they use? Over how many tens of thousands of these did they make? According to Harley Davidson's count in the 70s, they made 40,350 knuckleheads. Well, they don't know how many they made. Here's the reality. We went through a little thing called World War II. In World War II, they used knuckleheads for shore patrol. The shore patrol bikes had no numbers. None of them. Not one. Because they didn't want the enemy to know how much stuff we were producing. How many tens of thousands of miles of shoreline are in the United States and Alaska and Hawaii? Well, that's how many bikes they made. That's how many they really made. And you couldn't sell a war bike after the war, so they got repainted, resold, and chopped, and scrapped, and renumbered. Because you couldn't sell a war bike after the war. Nobody wanted a Navy bike. Nobody wanted a military green bike. You couldn't sell it. It was unsellable stuff. So how many did they really make? 100,000? We don't know. We will never know. But that's why every one of these tips look different. Every time you have a stamped process, there's different ones of these spotlights. There's different ones of these headlights. There's different ones of these horns. Every stamped process, it's a little different. And then they change it up. Every time they change it up, it's because the stamp broke. And oh, well, let's try this and let's do that. They're different. There's different rivets. There's different. They're different. They were made different over the years. That's just the reality of it. That doesn't make it not Harley Davidson. Okay? So, any of you guys want to say my stuff ain't real, if you don't have a line of original paint bikes, I'm going to tell you straight out, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Don't even go there because you ain't got it. Bye.